Welcome back, all of you. I hope you enjoyed the lunch. We continue our meeting with agenda item A18 and proposal number 2022. Mr. Freddy Schmidt.
Thank you very much. First, just to clarify, we follow now the procedure under Article 30, paragraph 7D, which deals with amendments. And we checked with the legal advisor, so clearly the amendments received must be voted upon first to see whether we accept the amendments. So we received about 30 seconds ago two amendment proposals. One from Belarus, Armenia, Austria, figure skating, Israel, and Cyprus. So we couldn't have time to copy this, so I tried to explain it. I think it's rather simple. They propose to delete the subparagraph 3, meaning reading from the season 24-25 onwards in international senior competitions, ISU senior championships and Olympic winter games, only skaters may compete who have reached at least the age of 17 before July 1st, preceding the events. Basically, they just say, delete this. Now, they haven't repeated the same for speed skating and synchronized skating, but please clarify, obviously, this applies to all disciplines. Can you please clarify? Should work. Can somebody help?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. In this amendment, I was mentioned only figure skating.
So only single and pair and ice dance?
Single, pairs, and ice dance.
Okay, just for clarification. Yes. I don't tell you should do something else.
Single, pairs, ice dance.
Okay, so the amendment is only for single and pair skating and ice dance, not for synchronized, not for speed skating branch.
Thank you.
Have you understood the proposed amendment? Or is there a doubt?
Just, if I may, Mr. Secretariat, if someone's got a mobile phone, could they photograph that piece of paper and ask one of these tech people to get it up on a screen so we can all actually see?
Well, we got it 30 seconds ago, like I said. But this seems to be rather simple. If you have in front of you Proposal 22, Rule 108, Paragraph 2, and the Roman 3 to be deleted. So I think it's not too complicated to understand. Yes, please, Ms. Mbert.
Just for clarification, Austria didn't sign that paper officially.
Okay, then. For the record, we delete Austria. Figure skating. Or was it Austria speed skating, maybe? No? Okay. You're innocent, until proven otherwise. Anyway, I mean, Australia wanted to have it on the screen, but it will delay further. But do you understand the proposed amendment? To delete the paragraph 3 for single and pair skating only. So it's paragraph 2A3 is proposed to be deleted. Yes, please, Mr. Chad.
For Shariat Israel, the most important thing, not to read what was proposed, but the reasoning why it was proposed. And the first thing I would like everybody to know that we're worrying about children the same way as the people who spoke. And where there were those people 2 Congresses before, 3 Congresses before, the same kids were skating. So apparently the time came to change it. But again, to change rather quick, it's a problem Gamkin also. So the rationale, our rationale in it, is making a change of 2 years in 3 years period. It's kind of has a big impact is going to have on small countries who have skaters, obviously, and who are already in development stage. And retention of those skaters will be a hurdle, again, for the small countries, because we don't have a bench from, let's say, New York to California, or from Moscow to Vladivostok. We have a bench that 3 people are sitting on it, maybe. Okay? The second one, the medical commission, with all due respect, and we understand what they're saying, didn't research the safety of pairs. If we're going to put a 17-year-old girl, I would like to ask him what the partner has to be, how he's going to lift her, what they're going to do with it. So then we lose it too. And the third one, before the 17, we have to have another Congress. We have to have a research, because the Athletes Commission said they did the questionnaire. I didn't get it, and I know a lot of countries didn't get it. So, you know, we would have to work on it. We are not against it, we're for it. But maybe we have to walk before we run. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chait. Now, I come back just to make sure you understood the proposed amendment. Now, since Mr. Chait spoke in one opinion, we obviously have to give the opportunity again to others to react to this amendment. What I mentioned before, a very famous quote of a Swiss politician: we go as fast as possible, but as slowly as necessary. I think it's too important to rush into something here and make a mistake. So any reaction to this amendment proposal, and there will be another one later, but the time being we only talk about the amendment proposal I read before. Other comments? Yes, please.
Eric Radford of the Athletes Commission. Ladies and gentlemen, the discussions about the age limit proposal undoubtedly have stirred up many emotions. After hearing some specific points being raised, I felt compelled to stand up here one more time to ensure that everybody here is hearing what I and the Athletes Commission, athletes elected by our peers and chosen to be their voice in a time like this, feel about this very important decision. To draw upon my own experience as a 3-time Olympic medalist, the older I got throughout my career, my appreciation and sense of gratitude for my experience and success became deeper. The life of an athlete is short and intense. Their experience in this short period of their lives sets the stage for the rest of their lives, physically, mentally, and emotionally. While I hear the concerns from certain nations about the immediate difficulties they might face with this proposal being passed, I hope that the long-term implications are the ones that are considered with more weight and importance. I pose the question, is a medal worth risking the health of a child or a young athlete? One last thing I'd like to ask in general is that in light of what Mr. Schmidt said about the reputation of the ISU and how this decision will affect it, that the vote not be asked to be a secret vote, so that no matter the result, each nation can assume its own responsibility, whatever the outcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Other interventions? We have the lady there first.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Svealund from the Danish Skating Union. We are, of course, in favor of the proposal from the Council. Before lunch, we heard some very strong arguments from the Medical Commission and the Development Commission. We also heard from the Athlete Commission that out of 966 athletes, and coaches, 86% of them wants the limits to be raised. I think these arguments, they speak for themselves. The most important thing here is the health of the children and the young people, and it can never be anything else. Thank you.
Thank you. More interventions, please.
Ingrid Wolter, Germany. I've been listening this morning and now very carefully, and I think we heard two very different groups. The one talking about the well-being of children, and the other about the everyday sport in the next 2 or 3 years, possibly 4 years. All these arguments are valid in themselves, in their own sphere, but there can be no doubt at all which are the more important. We have heard twice now from the Athlete Commission that the athletes themselves want this change. We have a crystal clear, explicit communication from the Medical Commission. We have heard from the development, we heard that they too would second this because they have been working with young people individually and in groups in the last years. I have been working all my professional life with young people. There is no doubt you can speed up athletic development. You can give the best possibilities for personal development, but you do not speed it up, and you cannot change it and make it happen earlier than it is programmed. There is no way of doing that. I'm still working in a club at home. I have 280 children around me, they skate, and it's absolutely clear that we need more time in a young age. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Lynch.
Mr. Schmidt, in the agenda, you referred to the deleting number 3, but it's actually, there's 2 number 2s.
No, it's 3.
I know it's number 3, but the agenda's got it actually showing that there's 2 number 2s. It is 3, but it's actually showing as dot point 2 I's. There's 2 of them.
I don't know what Okay, so in the proposal it should be 3 because it says 2 times 2.
Yes.
So this is a typo.
No, I can see that. Just if you're talking about actually deleting it and amending it, and you're saying number 3, there actually is no number 3, as it's printed.
Yeah.
That's all.
But the key is that we delete the sentence from the season 24-25 onwards. In international senior competition, ISU Senior Championships and the Olympic Winter Games, only skaters may compete who have reached at least the age of 17 before July preceding the events.
Yeah.
This is being deleted.
If you're asking people to vote on it, you should refer to it as the second number 2.
The second number 2, yeah.
So that it's correct.
Which should have been number 3. Thank you. Sorry for the confusion. Are there other comments? Then we vote now on the amendment. So once more, we're talking about Rule 102, paragraph 3A, second number 2, which now will be deleted. So if you are, we don't have a secret vote time being, or we don't have one. If you are in favor of this amendment, show the green card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 or 10, but never, this is simple majority, but it's never a simple majority, no? You agree? Not a simple majority. So the amendment has not been accepted. Now we have a second, we have received a few minutes ago from Poland, speed skating, a second amendment, as it was mentioned this morning by their delegate, and we are talking about point 2D, which in the proposal read, for World Junior Championships, only junior skaters may compete who have reached the age of 15, and they want to go back to 14 before July 1st preceding the championships. So instead of 15, like it's in the agenda, they propose to go back to 14, which was the case before. We agree?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any questions on this proposed amendment or comments?
Can I comment on it?
Yes, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have passed this amendment because based on World Championships Juniors in Gdańsk in Poland this year, we've had 9 countries that that entered Junior C skaters, C2 skaters, 9 countries among women, and 5 countries among men. So this sounded very loud during European skating conferences earlier this year. So to be honest, Poland has not entered any C skater, but I feel obliged to raise this point just to have a clear conscience. So thank you.
Thank you. Please, Mr. Lynch.
Mine's just a technical point. I've spent 30 years of my life in public companies, and I don't think there'd be an organisation in the world that would ask people to vote on where they cannot see the actual words up on a screen or on a piece of paper without amendments that this is what we are voting on. We're talking about voting on second number 2s. This is a big issue, and I'm sure there's someone in here with some tech that can get this up on a screen so we can actually see what we're voting on unequivocally. Thank you.
Well, we asked the question whether the delegates understood the previous amendment, and there were no more opposition. But obviously, if you want to if the majority wants to have this copied or put on the screen, we do so, but it will delay the vote. Okay, so we have to vote. This is a procedural matter. I understand it a simple majority. So those who prefer that we copy this and put it on the screen, which will take a little while, they should show the green card. Those so clearly not the 2, so 3, but clearly not a simple majority. Normally, I would agree, but I think that the change is really not that complicated. So, yes, Germany's speed skating.
Christel Petschke, Germany Speed. We fully support the ISU Council's proposal as it's written now. We don't support the amendment which was asked. We have a similar, like the Council, proposal going on. And I fully support what Jane Moran, the chair of the medical advisor, said. Professionally, I'm working as pediatrician, so I'm working with children from newborn age until 18 years of age every day. We have to protect our children. We have to take care of them, and therefore we ask the floor to support the Council's proposal as it is now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. But we are still on the amendment proposed by Poland, on the comments on the amendment proposed by Poland. Are there other comments on the amendment proposed by Poland? No? Then we have to vote on the amendment from Poland. So I repeat, it concerns Rule 108, paragraph 2, D. For World Junior Championships, only junior skaters may compete who have reached the age of 14 before July 1st preceding the championships. That's the proposal for an amendment, because before it was 15. So those in favor of the amendment, please show the green card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But I think it's clearly not a simple majority, so the amendment has been rejected. So we are back to the original. We are back to the original proposal. Are there any further comments? Really, we don't want to rush something. If you have any further comment, if not, we will proceed with an electronic vote. No more comments? To be sure, maybe we do first a present vote to make sure everybody's here. Sorry for the delay, but... It's not an answer. Where is it going? Michael, nobody asked for a secret vote, no? Where is it going? No, no. We just do a present vote to make sure everything is working. So please push one and present, one and valid, excuse me, push one and valid, and then it show value 1 or value 2. Looks like one is missing. So check your display. It should say value 1 or value 2. If it doesn't show, please raise your hand. Qatar escaped from the debate. Can we show the situation? So if it's only Qatar, I mean, we cannot show who it is missing. Qatar. So Qatar is not in the room, correct? So we cannot do a search now. So we have to proceed with the vote. So this time it's only 118 votes. So now we come back to the proposal number 22. There is no amendment accepted. So we vote on this proposal with the only clerical correction that under 3A is double 2 should become 3, but this is a drafting matter. Otherwise, the proposal is as in the agenda. So please vote if you're in favor, 1 and valid. If you are against, you put 2 and valid, and if you are abstaining, push 3 and valid. And it should show either yes, no, or ABS on your display. If it doesn't show, raise your hand and we will assist you. Please check your display. It should show yes, no, or ABS. Do we have the people all voted? Okay, so please close the vote.
This is a very important decision. Proposal number 22 is accepted. I would say a very historic decision. Thank you very much. We move on to item number, proposal number 24, because 23 is withdrawn. 24, Mr. Schmidt.
We are still in the area of age limits. So proposal 24 from Germany, speed skating. Rule 108, paragraph 2C and D, to change junior D category and add a new junior E age category, and to increase the minimum age for junior championships from 14 to 15. In addition, to introduce a procedure to regulate how to allow junior skaters to compete in a higher age category than their age, subject to the respective ISU member authorization. Now the Council says in its recommendation that as per Council Proposal 22, which you just accepted, on the urgent increase of the minimum age for the figure skating and speed skating branch senior category, the Council believes that an evaluation of the lower age categories, junior, novice, or younger, is required in consultation with the ISU Medical Commission and possibly the technical committees. And I would add members' representatives, which would make sense. The Council, therefore, is not in favor of this proposal as it's premature, but I cannot speak in the name of a future Council. We don't even know who it is, but I'm pretty sure they will be ready to focus on this. Now we dealt with the senior category, and I think there's a wise decision. And the goal would be now to focus on the other categories and propose something which is consistent, because there are other proposals about junior and novice categories in following proposals. But to get something consistent together with no contradiction, I think it would be impossible on the floor. We would spend a week here. So if a working group can be created by the new Council, this would solve the problem, and to come back with a very well thought through and consistent proposal among disciplines and among the branches. So this is basically the Council view on this. But please, Germany, speed.
Christel Petschke, Germany, speed. Our proposal includes 3 elements: extending the list of categories with junior E, which is common practice at all international competitions. Second, providing an opportunity to the youngest skaters to start in an older category, skaters who are by far ahead in performance in comparison to skaters of the same age. As we heard already, at young age, the physical capabilities can be different very much. And third, increase the minimum age to participants in the Junior World Championships to 15 years. As the last element is the most important for us and has been achieved by acceptance of the proposal 22 of the Council, we are willing to withdraw our proposal. Thank you.
So you withdraw the proposal, but I think we all agree we have to look into junior ages and novice ages, and there are even other categories. I think it's necessary to really focus on this. Thank you. So the proposal is withdrawn.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, didn't see Vice President Espeli.
Thanks to Germany for withdrawing this proposal. I would just like to add a comment to some of the arguments I think I heard here. We are also not supporting including the junior E category in our regulations for the time being, because this suggests that international competitions for children at that age is part of the ISU program. So this doesn't prevent younger juniors, younger than D, to participate in competition, but it's a difference to put that into the ISU regulations for international competitions. So this is a separate issue in a way to what Fredrik Schmid was addressing, which is about the kind of standardization of the junior age classifications, which are different, by the way, between speed skating branch and figure skating branch.
Okay, 24 is withdrawn. We move on to 25. Mr. Schmidt.
Proposal 25 from Canada Figure Skating regarding Rule 108, Paragraph 3b, to increase the maximum age for international junior competitions for women in pair skating and ice dance. The Council recommendation, basically the same as I just said before for the proposal from Germany. It's better to have a well thought through approach and deal with all lower junior, novice, and so forth ages through a working group and a study and come back with a thorough proposal. So that's the Council recommendation, but Skate Canada has the floor.
Shay Zakuski with Canada Figure. Mr. President, Council members, dear delegates. Skate Canada Figure agrees with Council that further evaluation is needed. However, we will keep this motion on the floor for your consideration. Safe sport is very important in Canada. The ISU has also communicated the importance of safe sport. The current difference in upper age limits between the man and woman in a junior pair or ice dance team reinforces the pairing of an older man with a younger woman. This often results in a big power imbalance between the two skaters and a big difference in physical, emotional, and social development. We already accept the age of 21 for the man in a junior pair or ice dance team. Canada feels now is the time to address this gender inequity that exists. In the absence of formal research, lived experience and observations can be considered. In our experience, this current difference in age creates many difficulties in the development of young pair and ice dance teams. This gender inequity can also result in junior teams transitioning into the senior category prematurely without the skills needed for the senior level, or, even worse, leaving our sport entirely. Today, we can observe senior pair and ice dance teams competing well into their late 30s. For junior pairs and ice dance, the woman should have the same number of years for development as the man. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now I repeat, the Council did not say that your proposal has no merit. The Council just says we would like to study everything together and not do a puzzle decision. So the merit might be true. Other people might say 21 year is not a junior. These are all considerations to be considered, but we understand you insist to leave it on the floor. That's fair enough. Are there other comments before we come to a vote? So there are no other comments. Therefore, those in favor of this proposal, please show the green card. Well, I think it's fair to say there is no two-thirds majority. Unless you insist on an electronic vote, we'll do. You're okay? So you're okay?
I'd like an electronic vote, please.
Okay, that's fair enough. Please prepare to vote on proposal number 25. Again, so we vote on proposal number 25. If you're in favor, push 1 and valid. If you're against, push 2 and valid. If you abstain, 3 and valid. And check your display to make sure it says yes, no, or ABS. Please vote. Please open the vote. Vote now. So check your display, yes, no, or ABS. Did we get the votes? Yes? Okay, please close the vote. So we have 55 against, 50 in favor, which shows that there is merit, and 12 abstention, but it's rejected, but we promise we will take this into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Then we move on to proposal 26, Hungary. Mr. Schmidt.
We remain in the area of age limit. To introduce age categories below the novice level. So I don't want to repeat the whole speech I made before, but it's again that the Council was of the opinion that these lower age categories need some overall study. But please, the representative from Hungary have the possibility to speak.
Gurgen Varganyan, Hungarian National Skating Federation, we withdraw with this.
You withdraw, thank you very much. But again, we will consider your input for the working group or the group who will look into this to come back in latest in 2 years.
Thank you very much. Then we move on to proposal 27 from Russia figure. Mr. Schmidt.
Now we come to Rule 109, citizenship and the residency requirement and so forth. To include national championships in the clearance certificate procedure and amend paragraph C by including national championships in the paragraph C. So it means a skater who has competed in ISU championships, ISU event and or international competitions or national championships for any ISU member and who intends to compete in the future for another ISU member needs a permit of the last ISU member. So it kind of extends the requirement for a permit, including a criteria concerning national championships. Now the Council is not in favor as it deviates from the principle of Article 1, Para 1 of the ISU Constitution, namely the ISU having jurisdiction on international matters but national matters administered by the ISU members. Also, the ISU does not have control over national championships and would not be able to consistently ensure that this provision would be respected. So basically the Council says we want to stay out of any interference or any relation and reference to national events. Mr. Sviridov.
Well, again, I think the reason we put this proposal is clearly expressed in the proposed document. But since, as said, some of the skaters who are at the high-level national championships are pretty high level, and they are financed by their clubs, not actually by the federation. They are, so to speak, it's a bad word, but I would say belong to the clubs, not to even Figure Skating Federation of Russia on the national level. And when we receive release requests, it takes time, of course, to study and to get the permission from the clubs. And having usually receiving from 40 to 60 release requests a year from different ISU members, it's pretty difficult to coordinate all this. Besides, this is the attempt somehow to stop the flow of skaters because, well, importing skaters does not necessarily help developing skating in this or that country. But the flow of skaters, which we at least observe, as I said, like 400 over the last 3-4 years, this is, we think, too much. So in other words, I understand this proposal maybe will not be favorable for many federations, but the ISU maybe should think in the future about how to protect and what to do so that to stop the flow of skaters, which is actually somehow mentioned also in the ISU rules that they are not favored. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Sergei. Obviously, we know that Russia is a big exporter of talented skaters, and I think many of them are very successful elsewhere. We understand this very special situation. We also we discussed this issue in the past, and one problem is also that the influence of a sports federation to limit immigration is very limited. We cannot dictate who can travel to another country. If for other reasons than sport somebody goes to another country, that's not up to the ISU to tell them you cannot do it. So it's very difficult to distinguish sometimes whether it's a sporting, let's say, the reason for the move was sports or something else. This is a fine line, and you heard the explanations of our case in Brussels, and this could open the door to other such cases if we have regulations which are very restrictive. So therefore, the Council is really not in favor. But please.
In principle, we actually do support the Russian amendment.
Excuse me, could you just say your name and...
Okay, well, not the amendment, but what they're suggesting. However, there are... Sorry, Kelvin Nicole from New Zealand. Okay. In principle, I challenge the Council to rewrite this whole rule, simply because using words like permits, using words like clearance, does not cover athletes who move from country to country, who have never represented the member in ISU championships, international events, or in fact have an ISU number. So this rule needs to be rewritten forthwith. Thank you.
Thank you for your input, but again, we take note of your remark, but we also have to consider other critical legal considerations, and it's not an easy subject. I mean, we have suffered sometimes on borderline cases, and had to check documents whether they're really authentic and so forth. So it's really complicated. But anyway, other comments? Then we vote. Those in favor show the green card. Those against, the red card. Abstention. So the proposal is rejected by obvious show of hands.
Thank you very much. Then we move on to proposal 28. This proposal was already accepted during the 2021 votes by email, so it's done. Then we move on to proposal 29 from the Speed Skating Technical Committee. Mr. Schmid.
Thank you. This was already subject to the proposal 5, and if I remember well, proposal 5 was accepted, no?
Yes, Freddy, we find out small mistake. I pass you the paper, just typo.
Sorry?
We found out small mistake
which is?
In the table,
yeah.
Which is related not speed skating, but
okay.
short track speed skating.
And what's the mistake? So you follow the rule, it's in writing.
Yeah. Mistake is that the table indicates that sport expert is an official category for short track speed skating. So I think we can safely leave this to the drafting committee unless there would be other objections or concerns with this proposal.
Well,
so maybe it's not necessary to include in the table when you see the pretext on this, but I believe this is drafting matter. Now it indicates in the table, in the original proposal, that sport expert is an official category also for short track speed skating, but it's not. It's a correspondence of the competitor steward in speed skating.
Okay, so whenever it touches like World Cup short track speed skating, it's not applicable.
Yep.
This is the amendment I got. So you have, well, it's maybe more complicated than that because you have Olympic Games and there is short track included, no? So what Throne says is that this concerns only speed skating and the table must be adjusted so it's clear that it has no impact on short track speed skating. Correct? But on the principle, do you agree? Well, other comments? So the vote would be to accept this proposal with the clarification that the minutes should show that it does not apply to short track. Those in favor, please show the green card. Against, the red card. Abstain. The proposal has been accepted as with the clarification.
Thank you very much. Then we move on to proposal 30 from Canada. Mr. Schmidt, Canada figure.
From Skate Canada, Rule 121, paragraph 3b, to include ISU advisors among those not being allowed to act as official. Now, the Council recommendation is not in favor since advisors are not in a decision-making position. Hence, there is a limited potential for a conflict of interest situation. Same as for the technical committee members, advisors may benefit from an ongoing and up-to-date officiating experience. If the Congress would nevertheless favor to follow the rationale of the proposal referring to consistency, then other bodies such as the technical committee's members would be in more critical conflict of interest position than advisors. So this is the Council recommendation. Skate Canada, you have the floor.
Karen Butcher, Canada figure, we withdraw proposal 30.
Thank you very much. The proposal is withdrawn.
Thank you very much. Then we move on to proposal 31 from the Single and Pair Technical Committee, Ice Dance Technical Committee and Synchronized Technical Committee. Mr. Schmidt.
So we are dealing with Rule 121, paragraphs 3G and H, to become more permissive for technical controllers to act during the same season also as technical specialists and vice versa for technical specialists to act as technical controllers. Now I have been informed by technical committee members and Vice President Lakernik that there are related proposals in the special regulations. Maybe Vice President Lakernik, could you comment on this situation and whether this may be preferably be referred to the section?
There are several proposals on the same topic that technical specialists with a certain training and certain examination can serve as technical controllers. This proposal will be discussed in the figure skating section. So I would suggest that we wait with this proposal and discuss it after the figure skating section, because there are many proposals like this.
To be discussed, if you agree, in the branch session, but to be decided here in the plenary session.
Of course.
Okay,
So pending.
Thank you very much. Then we move on to proposal 32, also from the figure skating technical committees. Mr. Schmidt.
We come back to proposal number 6, which was accepted, so I think we have no other choice than to also accept this proposal. If not, it will be totally inconsistent. So,
you agree? Okay, then we can move to proposal 33. I assume is the same.
Exactly the same.
You agree? Thank you very much. Then we move on to 34. Proposal 34 from the Speech Getting Technical Committee. Mr. Schmidt.
Again, we had proposal 5, which was accepted. So again, I think this should be accepted without further debate.
You agree? Thank you very much. Then we move on to proposal 35 from Hungary. Mr. Schmidt.
Proposal 35 from Hungary regarding Rule 127, paragraph 1, to add ISU European and 4 continents junior figure skating championships to the ISU calendar. The Council recommendation is not in favor. Acceptance would result in additional expenses of about 1.5 million Swiss francs. The ISU funding in favor of more opportunities for junior skaters to compete internationally is better targeted through ISU financial assistance to the organizing ISU members of international junior competitions. And please refer to the ISU budget proposal 22-24, and you find in the subcategory ISU contributions to international competitions, I think it's $400,000 or Swiss francs, to support junior competitions if the age proposal which went through is accepted. Because one of the arguments was there will be more junior competitions once the new age limit kicks in, and the ISU should support those members who organize figure skating junior competitions. So anyway, the Council feels that the championships, which only concern the top junior skaters, are very expensive, and it's better money used for international competitions which are more local, which have an impact on a much wider group of junior skaters. And also, obviously, the travel and everything is much cheaper. And finally, we cannot hide that sometimes we have difficulties to find organizers for the existing championships, so adding yet another one just adds another headache besides the financial consideration. So the message of the Council is help the junior international competitions regionally, but don't add further ISU championships. But Hungary has the floor, please. Unless you don't want to comment. Yes, you're coming? No.
No comment.
No comment, but no withdrawal either. So, other comments? Then we vote. Those in favor, please show the green card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So clearly no two-thirds majority. The proposal is rejected by obvious show of hand.
Thank you very much. Then we can move on to proposal 36 from the Short Track Technical Committee. Mr. Schmidt.
This concerns Rule 133, paragraph C, to introduce an overall season winner and change of all championships to single-distance championships. I think this will be, I guess, I'm pretty sure, a debate at a session. So I think it will be premature now to just to decide on the title, if all the details will be up to the discussion during the session. So, Vice President Espeli, do you agree that we put this in your capable hands? You agree that we refer the proposal to the speed skating session? If you agree, please show the green card. Somebody against? You're not yet voting on the proposal, just to make sure you have no problem in sending it. So it's sent to the session.
So to be discussed at the branch meeting, 36, but to be decided here at the plenary session on Friday.
Yeah.
Then we move on to proposal 37, Mr. Schmidt, also from the speed ratings, from the short track technical committee. Mr. Schmidt.
So this is Rule 133 to introduce mixed team relay titles. For the reason given, the council is in favor. The short track tech committee, you would like to add something?
Just a point of clarification, are we deciding and voting on this now, or are we tabling this one also for the, I'm for it, the technical committee is definitely for it, but are we deciding?
In this case, it's less critical. I mean, is there a reason that we should not vote now?
There's no reason.
Okay, the council is in favor, so unless there are other people having an objection, we can vote now. So those in favor, please show the green card. Against, red card. Abstain. The proposal is accepted.
Thank you very much. Then we move on to proposal 38 from the ISU Council. Mr. Schmidt.
The rule 137, paragraph 16. So this rule deals with expenses, but it relates to a proposal introducing qualifying rounds for ISU World Figure Skating Championships. So obviously the decision on expenses is like a side product if the Congress would decide to introduce qualifying rounds. So this clearly is subject to discussions at the session and must be sent to the session. I think there is no doubt about it. Any objection? No, I think, Mr. Lakernik, it's in your hands.
Thank you very much. Then we move on to proposal 39 from the Single and Pair Technical Committee, Iceland's Technical Committee, and the Synchronized Technical Committee. Mr. Schmidt.
So we are still in the area of expenses. So the proposal is to permit all officials to participate at the officials' dinner. Now, the council recommendation is not in favor, saying the officials' dinner being a valuable event, but nevertheless a social event. The council believes that such reference in the rules is not appropriate. A recommendation in this sense could, however, be included in the memorandum for guidance in holding ISU championships. So the council doesn't say this officials' dinner shouldn't be held and should be held at a time when most officials can participate. No, the council just said this is a social event. The championship would even happen without this event. I think it's a good event for the mood in the championships, and it's strongly recommended that it's held. I know those officials who meet and have a good, nice dinner, they are very much appreciated, but to formally include it in the rules, the council feels it's just not appropriate. And it can be included as a recommendation in the memorandums. Are there any comments from the technical committees?
Rita Zonneken, Single and Pairs Technical Committee. Since many championships already, the two last events, whatever it's ice dance, pairs, singles, those judges never had the chance to have to be there at the officials' dinner, and it's actually the only chance that they could be together. Otherwise, they are running from one practice to the competition. So we feel that it's really fair to everybody, every judges, every officials of the 4 segments of the championship to have that chance. And As you said, it's a social event, but still lunch and dinner is also in the announcement. So why not that we do that for all officials of all 4 events, to be unified, to be fair to every panel who will work there at the championships. And also maybe in the memorandum, of course, for the championships. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, the council doesn't say it should not be held. It just says a social event in the rules is a little, let's say, not appropriate. That you have to eat, I think that's another story. But anyway, other comments? Therefore, those in favor, please show the green card. Those against, the red card. Abstain. So the proposal is rejected by obvious show of hands.
Thank you very much. Then we have the last proposal regarding the general regulations, proposal 40 from the ISU Council. Mr. Schmidt, it's a drafting, I think.
Yeah, I think this is clearly for consistency a drafting matter. So for consistency with Article 16.2f, that the wording should be including ISU championships and figure skating Olympic qualifying competition. I think this was a borderline drafting matter, but I think unless there are any comments, do you agree to this proposal? Show the green card. Against, red card. Abstain. The proposal is accepted by obvious show of hands.
Yeah, excuse me. I have a comment. I don't see any Rule 138, para 8.
Sorry?
There is not a Rule 138, paragraph 8. It goes up to paragraph 3.
You're correct.
So
The
I'm
typo.
confused.
It's paragraph.
And 138 does not talk about appointment of officials. So it's in the wrong place.
Let's double check.
Sorry, 138 does not talk about appointment of officials, so it's in the wrong place. There's a different rule it should go to.
Maybe it's 136. Huh?
Ready? Ready? There was an update of the agenda published on May 3rd with this correction.
Ah, sorry. So, apologies, this typo was detected and updated, and when I prepared my agenda as a basis for discussion, there was before, so apologies, but it's 136. So, can you agree with this clarification? Please show the green card. And thank you, Susan, for pointing this out. Thank you very much. So the proposal is accepted.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much all, because now we have done both agenda item 17, A17 and A18. I think we have done a good job today with very, very important decisions. And I discussed with both vice presidents that we start the branch meetings tomorrow at 9 o'clock, so not this afternoon. So thank you very much all, and good luck with the branch meeting. Thank you very much.
Nobody expected that.
The age rule is big.
Hopefully.
I think we did right. You cannot.
There are a couple of proposals.
Yeah, it'll take some time, like the world figure.
And then there's the request to change the order.